Hey guys, time for another boring home improvement video, I'm afraid. So this is the original microwave that came with the place, and well, it's got to go. So when we first moved in, we had noticed there was some discoloration in the glass, and this top piece was loose. Well, since then this has come off, and more recently the handle's broken off, so we've been prying on the door. And now that's completely come apart and the safety glass is sliding out, so time to go. Well, one good thing is, you may also recall, about 2 years ago, I found a microwave in the alley. And it seemed bigger than this one, but I just measured it again, and actually no. It might be a little bit taller, but the width and the depth are identical, or more or less. So I want to get this one out, try putting that one in, which does work. I did try it out, and it looks like it's barely been used. My neighbor, I think, was remodeling his kitchen, and he took it out, maybe because it didn't match the new decor, I don't know. So I can see this one's got one mounting screw here, and I can feel up in the cabinet here, there's another one right there. I do not think those line up with the other one, so could have some fun drilling. But the first course of action is to move everything, so I'll move the refrigerator out of here, get stuff off the stove, and get a ladder, see if I can get this guy out without killing myself. So here's the replacement. It's got a little more wear than I noticed at first. There are a couple cracks in the door down here. But hey, it's free. Pretty clean inside. It came with all the accessories, a rotisserie thing, and a rack and stuff, and it works, so I'm not going to complain. It's also pleasantly surprised to see 3 mounting screws were inside the microwave, and I do believe they go there, there, and there. And for sure these 2 outer ones don't line up with the holes on the one we've got now. They're further in, so that could pose a challenge. But regardless, the old one's got to come out. I say a challenge because the holes in the donor are about 1 inch from the end, so right about here. And that's getting pretty close to the sides of this cabinet, so I may have to be putting... but then again, this has one right here too, so, you know, I'll just have to get up in there and see what I can do. But first thing I'm going to do is move the refrigerator, which will also give me a chance to clean out behind it for the first time ever. There are little wheels underneath it. Our neighbors moved out recently, and they gave me a bunch of moving mats that the guys had left behind, so I'm going to grab one of those and then try sliding this refrigerator over. I hope nobody's hungry. Yeah, that hasn't been cleaned out in a very long time, and look who just can't wait to get over there. It's not going to happen, buddy. It's not going to happen. So clean that up, clean off the side of the refrigerator. There's the gas line coming up. I don't know if somebody was drunk or what the heck happened with that, but that is not exactly level. Hey, get out of here. Ah, that's much better. And as for the old microwave, it sure appears that there are just 2 screws holding it in. They appear to be exactly the same kind as the new one. This is a Kenmore, the new one is GE. Here's the handle that broke off. It does still work, but I don't want to fool with it anymore. It's pretty darn old, but I definitely will salvage the transformer out of it. We can take a look at the magnetron someday. I put a convenient outlet in here, so it takes care of that. Hopefully the new one, I'll have to check the power cord on that. Hopefully the new one will plug in alright. So, I'm by myself. Not exactly a one-man job, but I'm thinking I will find something, get these pots and pans out of here and build up some boxes, wood, whatever I can find to support the weight of this while I take it out. I got creative with some bracing and proceeded to remove the 2 screws holding it up, and it wouldn't budge. And I had a feeling there was something a little more to this, and sure enough, there is a metal plate attached to the wall that's got a strip running along the bottom that bends up like a U-channel that's locked into the microwave. So I think I actually have to rotate the whole microwave and then lift it up a little bit and take it out. So it kind of actually is a one-man job. The question is, does the new one have the same system? I felt around behind the bottom of the new one and it seems to be similar. The question though remains, is the height the same? So I'll take this down and put them side by side on their side and check out the bottoms and see if the structure is similar. I also want to measure it. So there it is. Kind of nasty and corroded. So it's got these two metal parts that stuck up and locked into the bottom of the microwave. And here they are side by side on their sides. Old one, new one. So here's where that part fit in. And this does have, well, 4 of them. They're not quite in the same position now. I got really lucky, so these are here. Yeah, I mean, these slots aren't as wide an opening, but there's a decent chance it'll fit. And boy, I was wrong. These really are the same size. So this is the one I want to put up. So I'm going to grab a tape measure, take a few measurements. And boy, if these line up, all I got to do is tip this in there and tip it up. And well, before I do that, maybe drill some mounting holes for it. Haha, success. I just had to mangle those metal tabs a little bit and crammed this in there. Drilled some new holes, drilled some new holes before I put this in. And I got 2 of the bolts in and I got 1 more to do. Got it plugged in. And this particular model is a rather cool greenish, I guess it's a vacuum fluorescent display. It took me a little while to find a hole for this 3rd bolt, and as you can see, I'm off quite a bit, but the interesting thing is the nut on the inside of this seems to be set up such that it can pivot, and you can actually drive the bolt in at quite an angle, and it snugs down just fine. It does not bind up or anything. You can see it's loose here. It's like almost like a gimbal mount inside the microwave. And I gotta wonder, did they do that as a just being nice to the homeowner, the do-it-yourselfer, or well, just whoever the installer might be that's off a little bit? Instead of having to do, like you see these old ones, they drilled holes that were much larger than would have been required if you actually got things lined up right. That's why they had these giant washers on it too. So this large washer I reused from this one. Well, the old microwave only had 2, so for the 3rd one, since I made much smaller holes, I don't think I'll need it. Grab a screwdriver and snug that down and clean up the dust a little bit, and that should be it. And finally, how about a test run? I've got a very exciting glass of water in the microwave. I have not read a manual for this. I really am not entirely sure what all these buttons do, but let's give it a try. Hey, I love that. Something else I like about this is it's got a nice work light underneath. Our old one just had 1 bulb in the middle. Having one on either side is much nicer. And you can do nightlight mode, It's got a vent fan. I do have the grease traps. They are still out in the garage. So let's see. Oh, that certainly works. And let's see if we have. Yes, we do. We have a glass of warm water. All right. I would say this has been a successful project. Not the most exciting, I know. Thanks for bearing with me on another home improvement project. I will be getting back to vintage electronics shortly. That is all for now. I hope you enjoyed this look at replacing a built-in above-the-range top type microwave oven